Hello, Wendy Sellers here, the HR lady, working a little bit on the weekend for a client. And I just had a thought that, I need to share this with more than just my clients. I know a lot of people only offer to help because they want to get paid, but I actually offer to help because I want people to become employed and stay employed. And that's only going to happen if you hire the right people, and that will be a great return on our investment for you and for them. So let's get started. All right, so one of the biggest frustrations that I hear from managers, business owners, and even employees as well is they were hired to do one job, and they were either never given a job description, or it was outdated, or their job has changed, and they're being held accountable for something that they never really knew about. Whether that's true or not, here's how you can change that. First of all, you need a job description, and this job description will be used from hiring, so you're going to use it in the interview process, all the way to performance and behavior evaluations through the end of their employment, which hopefully is retirement and not termination. So this is a simple job description starter, is what I call it, that I've come up with. So this is a format, really easy. There'll be something in here about the company. Why do you want that? Because you're just going to copy and paste this into the job ad, and that way if you have a standardized summary here, you don't have to go hunting every time you put a job ad up. About the role, summary here as well. Who the position reports to, this is pretty important. So they are very clear on their reporting capabilities and who they go to with concerns. List of responsibilities, I just put 10. There could be more, there could be less. Knowledge, skills, and abilities, called KSA sometimes. So there may be something required. Maybe they need to speak French. Maybe they need to have a certain software system that they absolutely have to already have experience in. And then also identify between if it's required or preferred. And I would really think twice about this, because almost every manager I know says required, and in the end it really isn't required, it's just preferred. And previous years of experience in a similar role, so 2 to 3 years, for example. If you say like 10 years of experience, I want you to really think, is there a difference between 5 years of experience or 10 years of experience? And the reason I ask that is because you may be unintentionally discriminating again for age, when you're really saying, I want 5 years experience in software 1, and I want 5 more years of experience in software 2. Could they get them at the same time? I think you understand what I'm getting at. Well, hopefully you do. Educations and certifications, I do note here, skip if not applicable. Why? Not everybody needs a high school education to pack a box. So don't put it there just because you yourself feel that it's beneficial. And then if there's any kind of certifications, if they're not required, again, write preferred. And don't forget the physical and mental requirements, because if you need people to be bending down, lifting 30 pounds, etc., you need to put this here and not find out later. On the opposite side, don't say they need to lift 50 pounds when they only need to lift 50 pounds maybe 4 times a year. That's when you can get some assistance. The more important thing, not that more important, but equally important items are company values. If you don't already have company values, contact me, read my book. One of my books, Suck It Up, Buttercup, or The Asshole Whisperer, which tell you clearly how to create company values. Why do you want company values? They're just not something pretty to throw on the wall. It's so that you could actually put them in everybody's job descriptions, and then you can hold them accountable for their behavior. If you've been a manager long enough, you know that most of our issues revolve around people's behavior and not necessarily their work performance. And so if they don't adhere to the behavior or the values, then they cannot be in that organization. The next thing on the job description should be the pay range. If you don't know the pay range, then you should not be hiring for the position. End of story. Call me. We can discuss that another time. And then, of course, an EEOC statement. For some companies that do get grants or are maybe federal or government contractors, this actually might be legally mandatory. I say just go ahead and put it on all the job descriptions. Again, that way you can just grab it and copy and paste and throw it into the job ad system that you're using. Now, we have a job description. I'm going to close this a little bit. Now this job description turns into your performance/behavior review, which I like to just call employee feedback, because a review tends to say it's only once a year, and it should be all the time. So you're going to use this job description now from hiring to retirement. Once the job description is complete, you're going to add review ratings, your performance and behavior conversations, and annual review process, if you have an annual review process, should align 100% with this job description. So for example, over here, I have a list of responsibilities. All you have to do on the side of these responsibilities, and I just have it in Excel for ease, is put your performance ratings. I put here ABC. If you have something more complicated, that's fine too. And then the supervisor will, this person right here, who the position reports to, will do a rating on each of these responsibilities, all the way down to the knowledge and skills and abilities, the education, if it's even applicable, the physical and mental skills, required, and then of course the company values as well. A best practice would also be to let the employee do the same thing. So the employee does it, they give it into their supervisor. Maybe the supervisor does it at the same time, and maybe an HR person or a manager compares those two. It's not always possible for smaller companies, but if your employee rating and your supervisor rating is way off, then something's wrong, and it's usually with the supervisor, because that means they're not communicating with their employees. Sorry, supervisors, I'm throwing this one on you. We tend to blame the employee for everything. However, if we don't communicate with them, how will they know? Of note here, which I do not have time to get into, is the review ratings. You have to clearly define what ABC means in this case. So A is usually for a star employee. They meet all the requirements, no questions asked whatsoever, and they're probably ready for the next level, if they even want the next level. B usually means something like for each of the items listed, they have some room for improvement, and you need to be very clear with what that is. And then I typically say C means see you later. So if there's a lot of C's on here, you're going to need to put this person in another position, either in your company or in somebody else's company. Quick look at a job description starter. So you're saying, yeah, Wendy, that sounds all great, but I don't even have job descriptions. This is a starter that I use, and I'd be more than happy to provide this to anybody that wants it. Just message me and I will do so. What I would like to do is usually give this to the working supervisor, so the hands-on supervisor, not necessarily a manager or director, because they're sometimes hands-off and don't really understand the position as much as we would like them to. So again, I would like to give this to a supervisor. The supervisor can ask the employees to fill this in. So if you have 5 employees doing the same job, have them fill this out, knowing that some may not be capable. But if you do have, five of the same people in the same job, or similar people in the same job, and they come back with different tasks, you've got a problem. You've definitely got a communication problem. So it's a good way to figure out, what everybody thinks they should be doing. But what I have here is essential tasks, and then broken down to, I just have listed 5 essential tasks that you do every day, and then what's the percent of work week or hours per week. Don't need to get super, super detailed on this, but the more information you have, the better. Then the next section I have is list and describe tasks that you do once or twice a week. So it's not an everyday thing, but it's still part of your job. List the tasks, list how much time you do that. Next section, please list and describe items that you only do maybe once every 30 days. And same format there. And then you can have the employee or the supervisor, whichever one you choose, list all the tools or software that you have to be highly competent with to excel in this position. And then the next section is the technical skills. So what skills, including certifications, licenses, degrees, experience, would make a person excel in this position. Next section is the soft skills. So again, something like languages would be important, with written and verbal communication, conflict resolution, negotiation, etc. And then one of the final areas is specific mental or physical tasks. So again, this is if you've had no job description at all, and or you want to start completely fresh. And then the final area here, ask the employee or the supervisor to complete years of similar experience that would be necessary or preferred for an incoming person to be successful in this role. Again, I use this for a lot of clients, a lot of my clients, so that we can get everybody on the same page. It's great when you get employees involved because they feel like, okay, you're actually listening to me. The key there is you have to actually listen to them. And then you could change that into or transfer that into a job description format, and then use that job description for all performance and behavior conversations. And ta-da, you don't need any fancy performance review system. It's all done, in this case, in an Excel sheet. Let me know how else I can be of help to you. You can contact me at wendy@thehrlady.com or via LinkedIn. Take care.